Hey there, everybody. Franklin Taggart here, and this is the virtual coffee break. I've got my coffee. Grab your beverage and let's have a chat for just a minute, shall we? Today, here in Colorado, we had the first real measurable snowfall of the season, and it also coincided with the day that my kid finally got his driver's license. And so he got his driver's license first thing in the morning. And it hadn't really started snowing yet, and, we didn't think anything of it, but he has not driven very much in the snow at all, and so as the day went on, we were just kind of keeping an eye on things, but he went ahead and drove himself to school this morning. Everything was fine. It was dry out. The roads were clear. All was well. And even as late as like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I looked outside, and the roads still didn't have any snow built up on them. Well, between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, when he got out of school, we had a couple of nice little squalls that left enough snow and ice on the surface of the road to make it pretty challenging driving. And since this is really the first time that he's driven, on slick roads, he was pretty nervous about it. So He sent us a text to let us know that he was leaving the school. That was all great. And then, about 15 minutes later, we got a text saying, are you available for a phone call? And of course, we're both going, wonder what's going on. But he had taken the initiative to find a safe place to pull over into a parking lot. When he started to feel like that he was beyond his capability. And first snow of the year, people tend to forget that they have to slow down. And he was on the busiest street in town, and so he called and asked what should he do. And we said, well, if you want to, we can bring the car over and pick you up and then bring both cars home. No problem. But he said, no, I want to do this. He said, but I just want to find a way home that I feel more comfortable driving on. So we talked about a couple of different routes that he could come home, and then he chose one that worked out beautifully for him. And by the time he got home, our street was covered, and it was slippery, and there was a layer of ice underneath a layer of snow, and he made it without any problem. So one of the things that came to my mind today is that we all have to face in our careers and in our businesses and in our work, we have to face changing decisions or changing conditions, and we have to adapt, and we have to reconsider our options, and we have to find new ways of thinking, new ways of doing, and new ways of getting from one place to another. And that's just par for everything that we do in this life, because there are unpredictable factors, the weather being one of them. There were a couple of things that I was very proud of my kid for. The first one is that he didn't try to push through and go in a direction that he didn't feel like he could do safely. He could have stayed on that very busy road. No question about that. But he was uncomfortable with the speed that the other drivers were driving, and he's just said, I don't feel comfortable at that pace, knowing how slippery the road is. I'm afraid that I can't stop. So he made a really very, very good judgment for someone who just got his driver's license this morning. And that is that I'm going to go ahead and pull over. I'm going to call, and I'm going to ask for advice. I'm going to see what I can do. I'm going to see what my options are. And then I'm going to find the option that feels best to me and take it. So we found one option, and there were a couple of places on that option that he didn't like, because there were a couple of hills that were pretty steep, and he didn't feel like that he could make it down and up those hills very safely. So we found another option that had less of an incline, and he was comfortable with that. and that was the route that he chose to take home. But the thing that I was really encouraged by was the fact that he didn't hesitate to ask for help. He didn't hesitate to call in and say, I'm working in an area that's unfamiliar and uncomfortable, and I just want to know what, I want some help here. I want some advice. When we get into these situations, having the humility and the ability to say, wait a minute, this is beyond what I am, comfortable and capable of. What can I do, and who should I call, and who are the people that I can call for help? So there were a couple of other things that happened today that reminded me of a similar message. And one of them was I attended a workshop today that was really outstanding. I'm going to be doing a whole video about it in the next couple of weeks. But Kat Stancic did a workshop on firework experiences. And this workshop is really ideal for people who are, kind of getting used to the activities of marketing and trying to find their own way of doing their business that really feels good to them and feels like a good fit. This workshop is going to be something that I think you're going to want to do. But one of the things that I was reminded of is that we've got resources like these available for when you feel like that you're working beyond what you're capable of and comfortable with. These kinds of opportunities are available in your business as well. In fact, I think that's just what coaching is really all about, is, having a place to go when you feel like, oh my God, what have I just done? Or, what am I doing? And where am I going from here? And what's the best way to get home from where I am now? All of those kinds of questions come up. But I was really struck by the offer that Kat made in that workshop of being able to say, if you're really, if you're trying a lot of things, nothing seems to be working well enough to sustain your business or your success. Let's look at a way that you can systematize things so that you've got a better shot at it. She offered great help, and anybody who is in need of that kind of help for their business or for their career, it's available, right? So my 16-year-old kid going on 17, he'll be 17 in about a month, gave me a wonderful example of both being intelligent, being humble, and being willing to ask for help when you need it. And I think that when we're faced with changing conditions in our work and in our world, being smart and being humble and being willing to ask for help are three really great places to start. So thank you, kid. You're a great guy. I'm proud of you. That's all I got to say about that. I will be back tomorrow with Your Own Best Company. Great interview with my good friend Teresa Funk, and I can't wait for you to hear it. It's all about getting comfortable with not knowing what's next. Some really good stuff coming your way tomorrow. So thanks again for your time and your attention, as always. And I'll be back again. So long.